This is the second of our video series on using the Prince of Peace online giving process. In this video, we will present how to set up your donations and account profile for online giving. So starting at the beginning, we navigate to the parish website, which is www.popabq.org. In the top right of the site, we click the online giving button, taking us to the donate page. Here we click the Parishioner Giving button, which will redirect us to the Vanco Payments secure website, eservicespayments.com. Once here, we're presented with several options. At the top right is the login dialog box for those donors who have already created their profile. This will be the entry point for donors who wish to make changes to their online giving parameters. This option will be discussed in a later video. For donors who are setting up their account and profile for the first time, there are two options. A donor can choose to select the donations, amount, frequency, and the start date, and then continue on to setting up their profile. Or the donor may choose to begin by creating a profile and then setting up the donation parameters. The results are the same. We will discuss the second option in the latter part of this video. It is important to note that the processor does not process cards on the weekends or on holidays. Therefore, as setting up the start dates need to be on a business day before the weekend or after the weekend so that the cards can be properly processed. Otherwise, you're going to get an error on this. Specific dates of the month, for instance, February 10th for Ash Wednesday, will process on that since Wednesday is in the middle of the week. As we proceed into the next part of the video, actually setting up collections and our profile, I am going to switch over to the Vanco demo website. The reason for this is if I create demo accounts within this website, it will actually generate real accounts in the parish database. As a result, we will have a lot of erroneous information in the database, and we wish to avoid that. Here we are at the demo site. As you see, the collections are generally the same that we have on the Prince of Peace website. There are some exceptions, but because they are set up the same way as what you would set up any collection, there are no differences in how to set these up. As I said, we will begin by looking at setting up a collection, the various choices that we have, and then we will proceed to setting up our profile. So this is the first way that one can set up a collection and a profile at the website. Then we will cover the second way, which is to create a profile and then to select our collection choices. So let us begin by setting up our Sunday donation. First, we enter an amount in. Then we choose a frequency. This demo has a limited number of frequencies. We have other choices like weekly and semi-monthly that can be made at the parish website. So if you wish to make a weekly donation of $50, you would choose weekly when you're actually setting up your collection. Here, for the demo purposes, we'll just choose monthly. We will choose a start date. We want it to be for our next Sunday collection on the 17th. So because we are going to use a credit card for this transaction, we will set the actual transaction date to be the 18th. So then we can go ahead and move forward and look at the other collections that are available to us. This demo site, of course, shows many of the types of collections that we have at Prince of Peace. So we can fill them out based on the choices that we want to make. So for instance, if we want to do a retired religious donation, which is taken up the second Sunday of December, this is an annual collection, so we would choose annual, and we will select the second Sunday of December. We click the calendar icon. This brings up a little calendar for us to select a specific date. To move forward month-wise, we simply use the single arrow. If we choose to move a year ahead, we can use the double-sided arrow. And of course, going forward or going backwards takes you back and forth based on which days you're trying to get to. So let us go down to December. The Religious Retirement Collection is taken up on the second Sunday of December each year. We will select the Monday after the second Sunday in order for the transaction to execute for our collection. We continue down through the various listings of the different collections that are available to us until we get down to the bottom and we move forward to creating an actual profile. There's a total down here at the bottom that totals up the collections amounts that you have selected. However, this does not represent the total donations that you will be making to the parish, because these, of course, include the various frequencies. Some of these are annual, some may be weekly, some may be monthly. It all depends. So this total is just a generalization of the choices that you made. And of course, it's not taken out at one time. It's taken out based on the frequency that you choose. So it may be only taken out once a year. For instance, the $200 we gave to the Retired Religious Fund, that it will be only taken out one time a year. Let's move forward now to the second step, is to start to create our profile. Here's the page that we need to complete. We will be setting up a profile, so as part of that, we will select a password. Let's begin by setting up our name. And putting in our address. And of course, the zip code. We put in our phone number. And we put in an email. We have a choice of setting up our payments from a checking account and thereby using the routing information and the account number from our checks, or we can use our savings account, which then needs our routing number as well as our account number, or we can use a credit card. In this particular case, we're going to use a credit card for our demonstration. The program pre-fills in a credit card number so the system executes. So you would go ahead and enter in your normal credit card number that you would have. You choose a expiration date based on your card. You complete the rest of the information. One thing to note, Principies pays for processing fees for the credit card. If you wish to, you can make an optional donation that will allow us to recover the cost associated with the processing fees for credit card. So choosing this option will execute every time there is a transaction that occurs. The right side shows what you will be seeing on your credit card statement regards to the amounts actually being taken out. Since this is a fee, this will not show up as a donation when posted for our regular charitable donations at the parish. As you continue, use the same billing address that you posted at the top. And now we will set up a password and complete that information. And we click process. Obviously, I had an error when I did the password. The passwords did not match. So we'll go ahead and re-enter them. If you ever have a question about what the error is, simply click the exclamation point and that will bring up a screen with some information regarding what your error is so that you can make the appropriate corrections. And so now you see a summary of the collections that we had set up, the amounts, to help with offsetting the processing fees and the start date and the frequency described here. So each month the credit card we're using will be charged $51.38 for our Sunday collection. In December, it will be charged that plus the $205.50 as we're making a separate donation for the religious retirement. Then the card information is posted down below. Of course, you can print this donation summary for your records. You can always log back into your account via the parish website to see what your donations are, change the frequencies, increase the amounts, added other donations, change credit cards, and all that sort of background information to keep your account current. In this part of the video, we will look at creating a profile first and then making our donation selections. We begin by clicking the Create Profile button, which brings us up to an email entry screen. In this dialog box, we will go ahead and enter the email we are going to use to create our account. Once we've entered it, we click the Continue button, which brings us up to a typical information entry screen. Complete the information, name, address. And we create a password just as we did previously. Replicate that password. And we click Create Profile. So we can go in and add transactions, or we can edit accounts. Since we're starting from the beginning, we're going to go ahead and add some transactions. Click the Add Transaction button. So as we had previously done, we will go ahead and set up our donations. The first donation we want to set up is our Sunday donation. We will make a donation of $50. We will choose the frequency. In this case, we'll choose monthly, although as you remember from the early part of the video, that we have other frequencies available in the actual Prince of Peace website. We will now choose a start date. We click the calendar icon. We will then go ahead and choose a transaction date. Because the processor does not process transactions on the weekend, we need to choose a business day. We will choose Monday the 18th as a start date. Now, as before, all the other donations available to us are listed. We can simply choose the ones we want to contribute to, choose the frequency and the start date. As we get down to the bottom of the page, there's a slight difference here. Instead of process, we have a continue button. We simply press the continue button, which presents us with a dialog box where we can choose the particular account from which we want to draw these funds. We have our checking account, savings account, or credit card account. We'll again go ahead and choose the credit card account. And now our information is presented to us again. Our card number, or we enter a card number. We have an expiration date we choose. Again, particular month and year. We enter the name of the account holder. Once again, we have the option to make an additional donation to offset the processing fees. So we select that, and we notice that the processing fee costs have been added to our particular summary. Next, we go ahead and click the Use the Profile address so that we keep the information we had previously entered. And now we go ahead and click Process. As before, this gives us a summary of the donations we have signed up for. And as always, we can simply print this page for our records. Basically, these are the two different ways that you can set up a profile and create a new account. You can start with the donations and then select to create your giving profile, or you can start with creating the profile and then selecting your donations. The end result is, as we see on this particular page, is the same. Either way you make your contributions. Once you've made your contributions, there may come a time when you want to make some changes, add some additional funds, increase the giving, change the frequency, and so forth. To make these particular kind of changes, we need to log into our account and make changes to the specific transactions. We will cover that in the following video.